Hello students, we have day 9, and after our challenge number 5, we are going to start talking about inequalities for the next couple lessons. So, first part is understanding what an inequality is, and an inequality is basically in a sense that two things are not equal to each other, but you're still comparing. You're comparing non-equal quantities. So one of the fundamental differences between an equation and an inequality is that in an equation, like if I say that x is equal to 2 with an equal sign, then that means that the only solution to this equation is 2, or some other version of 2, like let's say 4 over 2. Right? But if I were to say x is greater than 2, well then now there are multiple answers to that. It could be 3, it could be 4, it could be 5, it could be 2.1, so on and so forth. So one of the fundamental differences is that in an inequality, you're still looking for what's going to make the inequality true, but there's more than one value, as opposed to an equation where there's only one value. Right. Now, later on in math, you'll solve equations that might have two different answers, but for everything that we're going to be doing, there'll be one answer in an equation and multiple answers in an inequality. So the lesson objective here is, and this will be split into two videos, I can solve and graph the solution set. Solution to an inequality. Right? Right, and that would be the objective. The solving, it's going to be the same as an equation, so that's really not going to be the key. The key is going to be graphing the solution and representing the solution to an inequality, because you cannot write out all the possibilities for a solution of an inequality. All right. Inequalities are similar to equations, but instead of an equal sign, they have 4 different options. They are as follows. All right, and this is one thing you're going to have to remember. Greater than. Okay, this is the greater than symbol, and this is the less than symbol. I remember back in the day learning about Pac-Man. Pac-Man was big back when I was in school, and he would say that, we would say that 4 is greater than 2 because Pac-Man wants to eat the bigger value. I believe maybe you learned an alligator from what other students have been telling me. Right? But in this one, I have 2 is less than 4. All right. So that's it. So as you read it from left to right, it opens up to the larger amount. That might help you remember. The other thing too is that I used to remember that the less than symbol, which looks similar to this, if you turn it a little bit, it almost looks like an L. All right, so that might be something to help you remember. All right, this one is the greater than or equal, and this is the less than or equal. All right, so those are the 4 major inequality symbols that you'll be using, and you're going to see these being used throughout the next few years in math. All right, so what I want to do from here is I actually want to cross this out because I want to I think for inequality, stating true or false, like I think 7 is greater than 3, that's true. I think this is something that you can do, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But what I want to talk about how to graph an inequality, and that's what this first video is going to be about, is just how do we graph an inequality. All right, so I'm going to give you 4 different, using all 4 of the symbols. So let's say x is greater than 7. All right, so here's how you would graph this. All right, x is greater than 7. So what would happen is I make just a generic number line. So I'm going to put 7 in the middle. You don't always have to put 0 in the middle. Right? And what I do is I select values that are on the left and the right. A number on the right of 7 would be 8. A number on the left of 7 would be 6. And what this is called a test point. Right? First things first. At the 7, when x is okay, hopefully this didn't cut out there. So x is greater than 7. We would use what's called an open circle at 7. And the reason for the open circle is that 7 is not included. 7 is not greater than 7. 7 is equal to 7. All right, now to determine what side we do is we look at the 6, we look at the 8, and which one? Is 6 greater than 7 or is 8 greater than 7? All right, and clearly, in this case here, this arrow would be going to the right. Now, depending on how you want to do this, I sometimes draw the arrow above. Some students like to, go hog wild crazy and do it like so. All right, that's the greater than. All right, now let's do a less than. Let's say x is less than -3. Alright, so I draw a number line, a -3. Alright, now careful, when you're on the negative side, things get reversed. On the right of -3 is -2. On the left is -4, because when you're on the negative side, the numbers are actually reversed. So less than is going to be an open circle once again, because -3 is not less than -3. It's actually equal to -3. All right, now which one is less than -3? Now on the negative side, that's a little bit tougher, but -4, numbers on the left are smaller than numbers on the right on a number line. Okay, same as numbers up above are smaller than numbers on the bottom, or numbers up above are larger than numbers at the bottom. So this arrow would be pointing to the left. And whether you decide to draw the arrow above or just extra highlight the number line, that's fine, as long as I can see what you're doing. All right, so now let's look at the other two. Now the only difference between the greater than and less than and the greater than or equal to or less than or equal to is the dot, the circle. All right, so let's do x is greater than or equal to 3. All right, so the only difference is going to be at 3, now I'm going to use a filled in, because now 3 can be included, because 3 is greater than or equal to 3. It's actually equal to 3. All right, pick a number on the right, 4, pick a number on the left, 2, and then greater than, all right, a number that's greater than 3 is either 2 or 4, and this one's pretty clear. All right, so on. All right, let's do one more. Now I'm gonna try to trick you on this one. I'm gonna put, we'll use 5 greater than or equal to x. I'm going to reverse the x. I just want to show you something specific. Right? And I want to make sure that you know it's not a generalization. It's all depending here. So I'm going to put 5 in the middle. We're going to pick a number on the right, 6. We're going to pick a number on the left, 4. It's going to be filled in because 5 is greater than or equal to 5. All right, now, this one we have to be careful of, because how do we determine what side to do this on? So this is why the test points are so important. Is 5 greater than or equal to 4? Or is 5 greater than or equal to 6? Okay. So hopefully you're thinking that 5 is greater than or equal to 4, which means the arrow is actually going to the left on this one. All right. Some students will make the mistake of, oh, it looks like the arrow points the direction you want the arrow to go. Well, that's always if the x is on the left side, but if the x is on the right side, it kind of reverses it. All right, so what you're going to do to finish up this video is I'm going to write some problems on the back. You're going to copy them down, and then you're going to do them, and I'll check, and then we'll go to the second part of the video, which is actually graphing these things. So we'll try a few of these. So we got x is greater than 6, x is less than -2, x is greater than or equal to -4, x is less than or equal to -7, and let's do 5 is greater than x, and let's do -2 is less than or equal to x. All right. So there are the 6 that I would want you to do. So this is the video, and then you check in with me before we go on to the next part.